this important debate on devolution in the East Midlands region. Mr Deputy Speaker, I understand that the forthcoming Levelling Up White Paper will set out the Government's plan for further rounds of local and sub-regional devolution, and it seems, if so, a pertinent time to examine the opportunity in the East Midlands to put an ambitious Levelling Up and devolution package at the heart of a sustained recovery for our region. I've had some exploratory discussions with other council leaders across the region, and I've been met by largely enthusiasm and a commitment to explore our options in more detail. There's a genuine will and a drive to get on with things in the East Midlands, and we need government to give us the tools to do the job at hand for UK PLC. I want to pay tribute to the great work of those leaders across the region who've come together in recent years on projects such as HS2, our Development Corporation, our Freeport. These leaders from across the public and private sector have shown courage and commitment to the region, bringing forward ambitious plans despite the pressures of the pandemic. In my conversations with these colleagues, there's a strong ambition to bring power and resources closer to their councils, their universities, their businesses. In a post-pandemic world, it's vital that we harness that enthusiasm, that we commit to rebuild the East Midlands economy and to improve the living standards of local people, bring high-value jobs, sustainable employment, training opportunities, growth and prosperity. I should offer my thanks at this point as well, Mr Deputy Speaker, to Sir John Peace for his leadership of the Midlands Engine. A devolution package for the East Midlands would complement and strengthen the work of the Engine and Midlands Connect and help him to deliver on some of the ambitions that he has for the region. It can support the huge effort and resource that he gives to our key priorities. Now, the East Midlands is home to over 5 million people and over 175,000 businesses. It has a diverse mix of counties and cities, market towns, countryside, and a distinct culture and communities. It contains world-class business, innovation and manufacturing excellence. The region's economy has untapped potential for growth. But despite this critical mass and this potential, the East Midlands has received some of the lowest levels of government investment over many years compared with other parts of the country. Now, as is a region of undoubted attributes and proud heritage, what is often overlooked, however, is its strategic location, creating, as it does, a bridge between the south and the north of our country, and with its strategic transport links which help connect the Union as they go north through England and up into Scotland. And for this reason, the East Midlands is vital. It's a hub for our nation, but for too long it's been seen instead as a place that you drive through to get from one place to another. It is, Mr Deputy Speaker, so much more than that, and we must capitalise on that potential. Now, the resurgence of the East Midlands is critical for the renewal of the UK economy as a whole, and given our position at the bottom of those rankings for investment, we must be, therefore, at the centre of a levelling up agenda. An East Midlands Combined Authority under a unified vision and plan, which is complementary to the Midlands Engine and the Government's devolution and recovery ambitions, would be levelling up in its most literal sense, in that other regions with devolution packages like the West Midlands, Greater Manchester, Teeside, have more local powers to make a real impact and more funding. A package for the East Midlands would equalise these things, would bring us up to a level of equal opportunity with those other areas. I will give way.
I'm grateful to my honourable friend for giving way. I congratulate him on bringing this debate, and it's great to hear the East Midlands being debated in this House. As he knows, I'm a member of the Public Administration and Constitutional Affairs Select Committee, and we've been looking at the evolution of devolution, English devolution. We'll be hearing from the excellent Ben Houchin and also Tracy Broman tomorrow, but last week we heard from Jamie Driscoll, the Mayor of North Tyne, and Andy Burnham on their experiences. And he said, Andy Burnham says that the entities that have been created can help to bring coherence to areas that have felt a little disparate previously. And in the context of the East Midlands, would you agree that devolution or some sort of authority is exactly something that we can do to bring that region together to get the investment that we really need?
I thank my honourable friend and my Nottinghamshire neighbour for that intervention and for engaging with this debate today. Is absolutely right that, particularly for a region like ours, which doesn't have that metro centre, it doesn't have that obvious urban hub. We are 3 cities, 3 counties with different spatial geographies, different transport links, and we need that hub, we need that connectivity to have a single vision about how we plan that across the region, or else we all are off in our own different local directions and we can't make a coherent argument to government. So this is really important for that unity of purpose and for delivering that investment. Is absolutely right. The unprecedented financial, economic and social challenges facing our area require a more ambitious and dynamic response that we can't achieve operating within the status quo. A regional devolution of powers and resources is key to enabling us to be competitive to be ambitious for our people and places. The conditions created by a combined authority would enable us to pool sovereignty and capacity on an unprecedented scale. Benefits could include a coherent plan focused on delivery for our economy, a focus on achieving the greatest public value for residents and places, more efficient and effective spatial planning, including transport and dealing with some of the challenges that my honourable friend mentioned, a unified approach which would be more attractive to government, working to help make sense of the many existing and complex structures that exist in our region, the Midlands engine, strategic partners, councils, businesses, investors, bringing a clarity of purpose and strength through unity and confidence to those who want to invest in our region. Councils could come together to create a mayoral combined authority, and this body would complement the West Midlands authority to the west, the Northern Powerhouse to the north, Cambridgeshire and Peterborough combined authority to the south. In many ways, Mr Deputy Speaker, we are the hole in the middle of the donut that doesn't have those powers where everybody around us seems to. Building on our excellence in high-tech and advanced manufacturing companies, an East Midlands authority could take the regional lead, promoting action on climate change, for example, carbon reduction, to be a catalyst for our green economy and artificial intelligence industries of the future. Governance of this authority could be inclusive to provide strategic coordination of regional policies, with councils joining forces with industry, higher and further education and wider public sector partners. Now, across the 3 cities and counties, Nottinghamshire, Derbyshire, Leicestershire, there are 28 local councils. Through the Levelling Up White Paper, there's an opportunity to lay down enabling legislation which requires the vast majority of councils and partners to sign up to a combined authority rather than all. That way we're confident of a consensus for a new combined authority and we can move at pace. Alternatively, an option could be to discuss and negotiate a geography for an MCA that can incorporate all those partners, the vast majority of local authorities within the region that want to be part of this in the first instance, perhaps with a system of affiliation for others who might want to join. In short, Mr Deputy Speaker, there are options, much of which has been done in terms of the work and planning for this. Much of this documentation exists, and now is very much the right time to explore them. An East Midlands Combined Authority would create a single voice in the region, a clear and focused channel of communication, would improve services to communities and generate additional GVA, creating new jobs, supporting businesses and promoting radical public sector reform. It would give us localised powers to genuinely tackle inequalities in skills, in health, in a way which is bespoke and fits with our communities. That can't be done from Whitehall. That needs a local drive. The government's challenged East Midlands in the past to work together, and there's been progress. Our new interim development corporation is working to generate nearly £5 billion a year of GVA for our regional economy, 4,500 homes, 84,000 net additional jobs. Transport for East Midlands provides collective leadership on strategic transport issues, agreeing major investment priorities. There's joint work on strong political consensus across the region on a coherent vision for HS2 around Toton. Partners are working on a business case for an inland free port centred around East Midlands Airport. We've secured 2 sites on the long list for the STEP Fusion programme. We're working together on developing defined economic corridors for the A46 and the A50. And partners are working across the region on our COVID-19 response, of course. There are other great projects underway. The Space Park in Leicester, pioneering world-leading research and engineering space technologies. In Derby and Derbyshire, on future fuels like hydrogen in partnership with Toyota. In Nottingham, a recently announced partnership with Thomas Heatherwick to reimagine the future of Nottingham City in a post-COVID world. These examples demonstrate the huge potential and the collaboration that's happening across the region, but the current system is constraining. A combined authority would change this, give a new mechanism for devolution, pan-regional determination of strategic priorities and dialogue with government, and a credible delivery partner. For all the many boards and bodies we now have and all the work we're doing together, none have the financial clout or the legal powers to deliver. This is the next step that we need to take. So initial priorities for the East Midlands Authority could include a strategic approach to working with industry on a zero carbon future, full fibre connectivity for the East Midlands, establishing it as one of the most digitally enabled regions of the UK. It could manage a coordinated and targeted plan for transport infrastructure that supports our wider growth, particularly through delivering on the benefits of HS2, the Development Corporation, the Freeport, and our wider spatial vision. It could help us to put together a skills system that's aligned to our region's future economic landscape, in tune with the needs of our residents, more people employment in higher skilled jobs to support business growth and productivity, and ensure that all of our communities can benefit from that growth. A joined-up East Midlands-wide tourism, culture and heritage strategy could help us showcase our region and its assets to the world. Our world-class destinations, the Peak District, Sherwood Forest, Bosworth Battlefield, our vibrant cities and our rich heritage. Bringing partners together in this way offers enormous potential to tackle the great challenges of our times, including climate change. And we've begun this journey through initiatives like the Midlands Engine 10-point plan for green growth, but there's much more we can do by working together, pooling capacity, innovation and resources. We're famous for our innovation and invention, and we can become a world leader in green growth with the right incentives. And Mr. Speaker, in summary, I believe this is the right time to create a strongly governed East Midlands Combined Authority. Any successful reform is a combination of strong central government direction and locally led implementation. The current COVID-19 crisis demonstrates that, with the best of our response being where central government has provided the policy and local areas have implemented it. We know from our joint work on HS2, the DevCo, the Freeport, there is latent potential for inward investment. The East Midlands has low level of private capital, and now more than ever, with government funds strained by COVID, we need to attract investment to our region to fuel that recovery, growth and prosperity. We have so much to offer, and bringing our undoubted potential to the market in a unified and coherent way will pay dividends now and for future generations. If the UK economy and society is going to move forward quickly, decisions must be made at the right level, freeing us up locally to work across wider areas and to get on with the job of securing that growth and prosperity. So I'm asking government to look at this carefully, to work with local stakeholders in the region and support us in trying to make it happen.